So just wanted to create a quick video of how you can get the best out of your calculator. In this case, it's the fx-991es Plus, so the silver one. A little bit old-fashioned, this calculator now. Ideally, we should move to the class Wiz, which has got just slightly better functions, especially when we come to things like normal distribution and binomial distribution. But for now, this one's absolutely fine for the mean, standard deviation, and variance. So obviously, with these questions, we could manually calculate all of these using the formula or formulae. But what I'm going to do today is just focus solely on the calculator itself and how to get the information from these. So I'm going to look at raw data without tables, and then frequency tables as well. So for this first one, in order to put data in here, what you want to do is you go into mode and you want to choose stat. So number 3, which is statistics. In here, we want the one variable, so number 1, and then it brings up this table. You just put in your numbers in there, so your X numbers. So we've got 3, 4, 6, 2, 8, 8, 5. Just double check you've got them all. So I've got 7 bits of information there, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's great. A little bit counter here. You can actually clear this off your screen by pressing AC, and it will store all the information in the background of your calculator. Get out of the habit of pressing the on key. That wipes the information from your calculator, so it's short-term memory. Literally gets rid of all that. So do not press the on button. Press the clear button, the old clear button down here. In this part now, you can press just above the number 1. You can see it says stat. That's what option we want here. So I'm going to press Shift Stat. Now you've got a lot of information on here. The ones that we want currently, there's a few bits we can get from this. But the one that I want here is 4, which is for variance. Not sure why it's called for variance when it doesn't actually tell you your variance. It tells you your standard deviation. But the first thing is we want 2, which is our mean. So that's how you find your mean. That's that X bar. So number 2. That tells me it's 5.14. So I'm just going to write that out. So 5.14. We can go Shift 1 again to get back into it, number 4. And then this one here, number 3. So number 3 is the standard deviation. That's the one that I want. Number 4 is a sample population standard deviation. You want to know that exists, but you don't want to deal with it right now. So we're just going to be looking at number 3, which is the population standard deviation. So number 3. Press equals. So we get 2.16, etc. So I'm just going to write that out. So 2.167, I guess, or 2.17. To get my variance, I just need to square that. So if I just do that squared, that tells me it's 4.69. So 4.69, and that's it. So that's how we can get those. Sometimes you might just want to get your summation figures from here. If that's the case, you want to not go into number 4, you want to go into number 3, which is the sum. And in this one, you can get your sum of x squared and your sum of x. So you might want to use those just to check that you've got the right numbers, or to check that you can actually use the formula itself. So that's how you get to those 2. When it comes to a frequency table, there's just one extra little bit to this setup. So when you get to your table, so again, to do that, I went into number 3 stat. I went into number 1, so 1 var. And then I got to this part here. If I put in my numbers here, I've only got room for the x values. I don't have room for the frequency. So if you go Shift and then Mode, so it's actually set up, so Shift Setup, go down a little bit, and you'll see this option here, which is number 4, Stat. If you click on that, it'll ask you whether you want your frequency on or off. So we want our frequency on, and then it's brought this extra column here. So now when I put my numbers in, you'll see it automatically populates with the number 1 on this side just up here. So you can have that on at all times. I personally just leave that on. And then when I do get a frequency table question, I just have to go in and fill out these frequencies. This is 3, 17, 29, and 34. Once you've done that again, you can click on the AC button, and that will store that in the background. We've then got Shift number 1, and we want the 4 var again. I want to know my mean, please. Press equals. So my mean for this one is equal to 37.1. And then I want my standard deviation. So I've got Shift 1, 4. Standard deviation is number 3. So it's press equals, don't forget, it's 0.861. Just lost my mouse. 0.861. And to get the variance, you just square that number. On here, it doesn't tell you that, so you've actually just got to do it manually. So and squared, and there it is. So 0.741. And that's how to use this silver calculator. And again, if I wanted the summary statistics or the summations, I can go to number 3, and it'll tell me what those are. So if I want to know what the sum of x squared is, it's 114,504. So it's got its uses in that sense as well. So to get back, click on mode, go to number 1, and you're now back in the usual mode where you can use fractions. Big thing when you're in stat mode, when you try and press that fraction key, it'll give you that little sign. That still means you can still put in things like a half. So if I did 1/2 times 1/4, I should still get 1/8, which I do. So it works exactly the same. It's just a linear layout rather than it being like a dual line. So don't be too freaked out by that button. You can still use it absolutely fine. So I'm going to go 1 mode and then back to my standard mode there. Hope that helps. If you need any more help, just let me know.